This time on Classic Reviews, I'm going to be talking about Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Mask of the Phantasm came out in 1993 and was directed by Eric Radomski and Bruce Timm, the creators of the animated show Batman the Animated Series, which is one of the greatest animated shows of all time. I absolutely love this show, and I really love this movie. The movie follows Batman as he's facing off against a new threat known as the Phantasm, who is this person that is going around and killing mob bosses. And soon the police begin to suspect that it is actually Batman committing these crimes, and so it's up to Batman to prove his innocence and also find the Phantasm and figure out who they are and save the day. Guys, I've recently gotten into watching Batman the Animated Series after so many years of really wanting to get into it, and since the Blu-ray has been released, I finally had the chance to sit down and watch it. I haven't finished it yet, so I'm not going to be talking too much about the show here. That will be for another review, but along the way, they made this little movie that was released theatrically, and that's what I want to talk about. And this movie has a really interesting kind of history. It was originally going to be a made-for-TV movie, or at least released on VHS, and it was determined that it was going to be released theatrically, which was really interesting because this is the first theatrically released Batman movie that is animated. And that's really interesting. It didn't do too well at the box office, which is really disappointing because this is a really, really good movie, and I think more people need to see this movie and recognize it because it's a really excellent film. Now, much of the movie is kind of like a TV movie in a lot of ways, but sometimes they try to get around that. For one thing, the animation, though, is very similar to the TV show and kind of is similar. It does have some better animation to it. A lot of the movements are a little bit more fluent. There's definitely more of a budget here for this particular movie. The animation is really good, especially on the Blu-ray release. The HD transfer just looks incredible, and also the fact that it was done in a widescreen format instead of full screen, which it would have been if it was released on VHS. But guys, this show, on top of its animation, just sounds great and really does feel like a theatrical experience once you watch it. Something I like that this movie delved into was really figuring out who Bruce Wayne is as a person, which is something that the show never really focuses on. The show focuses on being fun and being a Batman show, and doesn't really have time to really develop Batman as a character very much. It's just a nice Saturday morning cartoon type of show. However, this movie does delve into some stuff that was really interesting and very provocative, kind of showing Batman's transition from just, Bruce Wayne into the vigilante himself and how he became him. And they do this in the form of flashbacks throughout the movie that focuses on his life before Batman and how he becomes Batman. And some of that stuff is just very well done. His relationship with this character that's introduced in the movie named Andrea, who is an old flame of his, is very heartwarming. Their relationship is very sweet, and their stuff when it comes to the flashbacks is some of my favorite stuff. There's also a particular scene of Batman at the tombstone of his father and mother that's done in the rain, and it's beautifully animated, and the music and just the scene itself really elevates it. And that's a thing too about this movie. The music in this film is fantastic. If you guys want to listen to it, just look up the Mask of the Phantasm theme. It's a choral track that is just beautiful, that plays at the very beginning of the movie, and it really feels like you're watching something very epic. And You really are. It's awesome. The music's great and really helps sell this movie. Also, it's crazy the amount of voice cast that they get for this movie. Of course, we get our mainstays like Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, but then we also get people like Abe Vigoda that voices a character in the movie, and the voice cast is all very well done. They do a great job, especially, of course, Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, who played Batman and the Joker respectively in the Batman the Animated Series. They're a lot of fun. Of course, Mark Hamill, when he's doing his scenes, he of course steals the show. He's the best Joker we've ever had and are ever going to have, and he's fantastic. So is Kevin Conroy. And just all the voice acting overall is really, really good. The action set pieces are fun and creative. I love the idea of Batman being on the hunt, and we actually see him getting injured and stuff in this film, and also, like, we see blood for, I think, the first time in Batman the Animated Series. We didn't get that in the show, but we get it here, and it's very jarring because it's something you're not used to seeing, but it was really interesting and really, I think, helped elevate the importance of this movie, kind of showing a very much darker portrayal of the show than we originally have, well, in the show. And by the end of the movie, I've just had such a blast watching the film, and there's just this moment where Batman's just sitting in the cave, and there's just this great moment where it almost brought me to tears. This is a very good Batman movie, guys, and it's sad that it doesn't get the recognition it deserves. This really stands up with some of the best Batman movies, like theatrically animated. I mean, this stands up with something like The Dark Knight or Batman Begins or The Dark Knight Rises. This is one of the best Batman movies we have, and it really understands the character, and I think does something very different, to the point where I wish the theatrically released live-action movies would do something like this, because I think out of all of them, the animated series and this movie understand Batman more than anything the live-action movies have shown us. I'm gonna give Batman Mask of the Phantasm an 8 out of 10. Well, guys, I want to thank you for watching this review. I'm going to be continuing to watch Batman the Animated Series. Hopefully, I'll be finishing it soon, and you'll get a review from me soon as well. Also, I'll be reviewing Sub-Zero, which is the next Batman movie that came out after Mask of the Phantasm. But anyway, guys, with all that said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next review.